You think you're training your legs hard enough, but what if the biggest reason your legs still look the same has nothing to do with effort? Because most people don't have a motivation problem, they have a focus problem. And if you've been squatting, pressing, pushing, and grinding for months without seeing much change, there's a good chance you're making the exact mistake we're talking about today. The frustrating part? It feels like you're doing everything right. You show up, you train consistently, you leave the gym exhausted, but your legs still don't look much different than they did 6 months ago. And the biggest problem isn't what you think. In fact, the real reason might be hiding inside the very workouts you trust the most. Stay with me, because the final piece of this puzzle surprises almost everyone. Picture a typical leg day. You walk into the gym determined to destroy your legs. You load up the machine. You add weight to the bar. You push through the pain. You finish drenched in sweat. On the drive home, you feel productive. You feel like you accomplished something. But a week later, your legs look exactly the same. A month later, still the same.
3 months later, not much has changed. That's when frustration starts creeping in. You begin wondering if your genetics are bad. Maybe you're too old. Maybe you need a different program. Maybe you need more supplements. But wait, here's what almost nobody notices. The problem isn't usually what you're doing. It's what you're chasing. And here's where everything changes. Most people don't realize this. They spend their entire leg workout trying to survive the workout instead of improving the workout. Think about that for a second. The goal quietly shifts from building better legs to simply getting through a hard session. Everything you've been told sounds logical. Train harder, push harder, suffer more. But that's exactly why so many people stay stuck. Let me tell you about a guy I trained a few years ago. Nothing special, just a regular gym member. He never missed workouts, always showed up, always pushed himself, always left exhausted. Yet his legs barely changed, month after month. He became convinced he simply wasn't built for big legs. Then one day we changed something simple. Not his schedule, not his exercises, not his effort. We changed what he paid attention to. Instead of focusing on how hard the workout felt, he focused on making each movement better than the week before. A little more control, a little more consistency, a little more quality. Nothing dramatic, but within a few months, his legs looked completely different. Not because he worked harder, because he worked with a purpose. And what happened next surprises most lifters. The workouts actually felt easier, but the results became better. Now let's destroy one of the biggest fitness myths. Most people believe growth comes from punishment. The harder you punish yourself, the better the results. Sounds reasonable, but it's often backwards. Imagine trying to grow a plant. Would you help it grow by dumping 10 buckets of water on it every day? Of course not. You'd give it exactly what it needs, consistently.
Over time, your legs work the same way. They don't grow because you destroy them. They grow because you give them a reason to improve again and again. That's the shift most people never make. And this tiny detail changes everything. If this is making sense so far, subscribe. Most fitness channels tell you what to do. Here we focus on why it actually works. Now here's the core lesson. The biggest reason your legs still look the same is that you've been measuring effort instead of progress. Read that again. Most people judge a workout by how tired they feel afterward. Successful lifters judge a workout by whether they improved something. The difference is huge. One person finishes a workout barely able to walk. The other finishes knowing they performed better than last time. Guess who usually gets better results? Here's what nobody tells you. Your body responds to improvement, not drama, not suffering, not exhaustion. Improvement. Picture 2 lifters. The first one throws weight around, uses momentum, rushes every set, leaves completely exhausted. The second controls every repetition, feels the movement, tracks small improvements, leaves with energy still in the tank. Months later, the second lifter often has better legs because growth follows progress, not chaos. Pay attention to this part because this is where people get stuck. Most lifters constantly change programs, new exercises, new routines, new techniques. Every week becomes another experiment, but they never stay with anything long enough to improve at it. That's like digging 10 shallow holes instead of one deep one. The effort is there, the result isn't. Now let's make this practical. Here are 3 things you can do immediately. First, stop judging your workout by how exhausted you feel. Instead, ask yourself one question. Did I perform better than last week? That's what matters. Second, pick a few key leg exercises and stay consistent with them. Give yourself enough time to actually improve before changing everything. Third, keep a simple training log. Track small wins. 1 more rep, a little more control, a little more weight. Small improvements become big results. But wait, there's one final thing. Remember those curiosity loops from the beginning? The hidden mistake wasn't your effort, and the unexpected solution wasn't a secret exercise. The real problem was chasing fatigue instead of progress. That's why so many hardworking people stay stuck. They mistake suffering for growth. And once you understand that, everything starts making sense. Your legs don't care how motivated you are. They don't care how tired you feel. They respond to a simple message. Give them a reason to improve. Then give them another, and another. Week after week, month after month. That's how change happens. Not through one perfect workout, not through one magic exercise. Through consistent improvement over time. Sometimes bigger results come from smaller changes. Fix the habit first. The muscles will follow.